Hey everybody, we are live. We are here. Jason is having a little technical issues with his computer. Hopefully he'll be joining here soon. Here we go. Look, there we go. He's here. I hear you.
What's up, buddy?
Got you on. We're live. Here's some guitar in the background. Was that what's happening?
Yeah, it's Eric. Eric's on the guitar, and I had to get on my phone because
playing the blues.
The computer is completely dead. So
yeah, it's all right.
So I am so I have no stats to look at.
Yeah,
the computer might be firing up. If the computer does fire up, I'll be able to look up a little bit more stats. But
yeah. Everybody on the Twitter space, chime in, give me a comment, let me know that you can hear both Jason and I, just to make sure. I like to do that early, and we'll jump into it here in just a second. Ooh, a little background music. I can hear that. Uh-oh. All right, somebody comment. Let me know.
I'm trying to get the StreamYard working on the laptop. I think I got it.
All right. I think we're good. I tested it out. Let's see. Yeah, let me remove. There we go. All right. Yeah, there we're good. Now we're in business.
Later. All right.
Landon Howell, man, you cracked me up.
Here we go. All right, Eric says bye.
See, Eric.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been talking about anything so far or not, but Pilo, what were your thoughts of the game? I mean, for me, the first quarter was really fun. I didn't know. I didn't think that we were going to score that many points right off the bat.
No.
But we did, and that was really neat. And then, there were some bad calls, and it just kind of like got away from us, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, I agree.
Positives.
Man, that first quarter was fun.
I was like, will it ever end? I was like, let's just get through, Yeah. And then at halftime, it was over 2 hours. It was a super long game. I left with about probably 9.5, 10 minutes to go. Just couldn't take it anymore. It might officially be basketball season for me. It's I know that we haven't even played a conference game yet, but isn't that how it kind of goes? Is you start off the year like, you know what? I hope we're great. I hope we win like 11. And then you're like, well, if we can just go 2-2 at our first 4 games and get the conference. And then you're like, all right, well, we haven't done great so far, but we've finished season started with conference play.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting a couple of comments here, just making sure I think we may have issue or two with the. I'm gonna unplug and replug. All right, let's see here. Hang in there, Twitter space. We're getting you.
But whoever is on right now, while we're still kind of getting everything going, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can start off from. Okay, I see a comments here that says you cannot hear me on the space.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why it's doing that. Man, that's frustrating.
Let me get out and get back in.
No, it's not you. Oh, man, this is lovely. Nothing like live and having technical issues. Yeah, I know. Okay, Landon Howell saying he hears loud, clear, good. We'll just keep rolling. Somebody try to...
Okay, Landon, got you.
Appreciate that.
All right, box score 49-24 final.
Yeah.
The 14 points that Southern Miss put up in the first quarter was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
there's some
inventive
big
play calling. The 14 that we gave up wasn't great, but then we gave up 14 more in the second, 14 more in the third, and then 7 in the fourth. So it's just a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main issues obviously was we were 1 for 10 on third down. We just and they were 8 of 14. Obviously, a lot of that seems like that one drive. 3 different times we stop them on third down, and there's some kind of penalty to extend the play.
No,
Frustrating.
yeah. I mean, I definitely think the referees did not help for a little while, but I mean, obviously the refs didn't cost us the game, right?
Right.
We aren't ready. We're not ready yet to beat a team like South Florida. It's apparent. You told me that Tate was limping on the sideline.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That last drive he was in, yeah, he was. I'm not sure what it was. If the trend continues, I mean, I would imagine it would be something lower leg. It seems like that's every single person on our team has some kind of lower leg. So I don't know. I mean, it could just he got banged up. I'm not sure. I don't think it was like we're going to go with Ethan just because this is not working. Tate had a great first quarter. Obviously they were starting to get to him too. So I don't know at what point it happened, but he did limp a little bit. Crawford comes in, does well. I think the 1 out of 10 on third down, and then us just getting to the red zone and not being able to score is a big factor. And I wasn't a huge fan of kicking field goals when you're down 2 or 3 scores. That just kind of rubbed me
Well,
the wrong
especially when you
way.
can't make them.
Right. Yeah. If we got a guy that's automatic, I understand at least it's points, but yeah, that's tough to swallow.
Tate Rodemaker ended the game 10 of 15 for 120 yards with 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a long of 37.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what you're wanting. I thought Tate looked great. I
Yeah,
did not. I did not see the limping situation coming off until you text me. But I thought that they just brought Crawford in for a spark. We've heard about packages for Crawford. The entire season.
Yeah.
I thought he just came in, did that. I was like, wow, what a great way to use him right there. And then he came out again in the second half. I was going, well, did they just give up on Tate?
I mean, Tate was right there, like he was right there kind of watching everything. So I think he had, I don't really know what happened. Maybe we won't ever know, but for sure there was multiple people up where we were that said that, it looked like he was limping that last drive. So, and yeah, I mean, and I remember, on the podcast we recorded this week, you said, for us to win, and we needed Tate to, or I said we need to get off to a hot start. We did, and you said you needed Tate to be a dude, be the MVP, and man, he started out that way. He looked fantastic. I think he was 8 of 10 at one point to start, 2 touchdowns.
Looking at the rushing game from USF,
yeah, that's
we talked about containing Brown, and we kind of did. I thought we kept him in the pocket. That's what you want to do with Brown. Is if he's going to beat you, beat him. He's got to beat you with his arm.
yep.
He ran for like 130 yards versus Alabama. He ran all over Bethune-Cookman, and Southern Miss held him to just 92 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and he had, he only netted 72 yards out of that because we tackled him for loss several times. So, but the problem is, Naquan Wright ran for 105, and Kelly Joyner ran for 117. Right?
Yeah. So we do have somebody requesting to go live. I'm going to try to throw them up here and make sure that our audio is in fact working. Did you hear that little jingle?
Got it?
Okay.
Caller, you are on the air.
Yeah, if you'll just unmute, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. All right, I'm in there, baby.
I can hear him a little bit.
Yeah, he's not. Hold on.
Hey,
Why is he not
I'm
coming
out
through the
here.
board?
I cannot believe that first half. The first quarter, I was blown away. I was like, what is happening? I hit my buddy up when the spread first came out. I said, South Florida, large. I said, they were -7, -8. I was like, South Florida is going to blow us away. So I was eating crow in the first quarter. I'm out here in Miami, my brother's 40th birthday, and I'm just like, unbelievable. Like they're going to win this game. And I was like, I had bet against them, but I didn't care. If we win, I'm way happy, right? And then slowly they chipped away. And it was just like, wow, we don't have an offensive line. We can't protect ourselves. The defense was the strong point. Couldn't just.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Let's see.
Nice to see.
There we go.
They couldn't cover, so I got the win, and it is what it is. I expect it by now.
So you said you're calling from Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you attend Southern Miss?
Yeah, so I went to Southern Miss. I grew up in the Bay Area, but not Bay St. Louis, as you guys call it. I grew up in the West Coast in the Bay Area.
Okay.
But, I grew up a huge Cal fan. And tune in right now. Cal's beating San Diego State on ESPN. So let's go. Diehard Cal fan. But Southern Miss, went to Southern Miss, and I'm just like, come on, keep hoping for the bowl game. They can't do it. I'm about to call in every week and keep your podcast lively.
Well, we appreciate the energy, man.
No, I appreciate it, and I think I kind of echo all of what you said. It started off great, and we had high hopes, and then it just the ultimate letdown, pretty much. So, but thanks for calling in.
Yeah, ultimate letdown. Did you go to the game?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just got back in.
Yeah,
I live about a mile from campus, so it's not hard for me to get there.
Yeah. I felt like the student section was looking good. A little disappointed in the crowd, but I mean, I don't know, kind of to be expected at this point. But I thought, I was like, this is great. This is the win they needed for the Will Hall era. They're coming through, and then just absolute collapse. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you this. As far as like the tailgating atmosphere and Eagle Walk, and I know that the crowd probably doesn't look great on TV just because obviously we broadcast from the home side and it looks towards the visiting side, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that being said, I mean, the whole thing should be filled. Absolutely every single game. But even back in the heyday, it wasn't. The top corners would be a little empty. Anyway, but I tell you this, man, tailgating was great. Eagle Walk was twice as many people at Eagle Walk, I think.
Yeah, Eagle Walk was slammed
over last week. And people stuck it out in the game as long as they could. And I was one of those.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear, honestly, because at the end of the day, it's about the environment, it's about the experience. I haven't been back to a game in probably 15 years, but I love to hear that. I'd love to see them string some wins together. I think Jackson State is like borderline a must-win for Will Hall. But we'll see what happens. I think Jackson State, I expected them to be a little bit better than they have been these first couple weeks. I think it's definitely a winnable game. Yeah, it's on the road, but how big is our home field advantage anyway? Jackson State, I know, doesn't have a home field advantage. So
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State, not Jackson State.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Big difference. Or not a big, somewhat of a difference.
Well, man, hey, I appreciate you. What was your name one more time?
My Twitter is Fiend, but I'm Sean Feeney.
Okay, great. Hey, Sean.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, yeah. All right, sounds good, fellas. Have a good one.
See ya,
buddy. I think that Sean, the comments that he made, I think it kind of sums it up, right? And he's from afar, but we got a glimpse of what we thought we might have going for this season. And as soon as we got that glimpse, it was just, kind of gone.
Right.
And he mentioned the crowd. And isn't it just saddening that I have to kind of qualify it when he said, like, man, the crowd wasn't that great. I'm like, no, it really was okay compared to past.
Yeah.
But from their perspective, it only shows the visitor side for the most part. But even the fact that I have to say, no, the other side was okay. that
Yeah.
kind of tells you that we don't have the crowd that we need.
I'm going to run through a few comments here. There's a lot of people comment on here. I just want to get us caught up. Austin said 369 rushing yards. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to swallow. Let's see. Ernie Brooks said Will Hall has to go. It's time no more for this team has talent. They hung on with this team for the first half, but they just can't get out of their own way. I mean, yeah, it seems like that's the case with, the Jaslowski play. Brilliant, great play call. We catch him, he runs.
Did he step
out? I would love to see another angle. I have no idea how they had a camera angle to see that. There's not cameras on that side of the field. It had to been the camera above the south end zone shooting down. I want to go back and look at that.
If anybody saw that on TV and you can clarify, it was absolutely that he stepped out. Yeah, let us know. I'm sitting on the second row in the end zone. Pilo is on the home side,
all the way at the top, lower section.
Yeah. So obviously we don't have the best point of view.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the pyrotechnics go off and we're high-fiving everywhere. And then we turn around and they're talking, and then they call it back.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, go ahead.
Good friend Landon Howell said, anybody who can't hear us is a Will Hall burner account. No, there was something going on, man. It's like there's like 6 steps you have to do to get this to work right. Let's see. We got another.
I did get a text message from our good buddy Heath Hinton from over at Big Gold
Yeah, I
Nation.
see that he has requested to
he's on?
Speak. Let's see if we get him on here.
Great. He's an expert.
Heath, you should be good to go. If you unmute, you'll be live with us.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hey
Heath, good to hear your voice.
What's up, fellas? How you doing? By the way, Jaslowski did step out.
Oh, okay. All right.
He did. Barely got the foot over the line, but you could tell from the south end zone view he stepped out. So
yeah, I've always wondered why when guys kind of make that play, and why we always want to hug the line. I'm like, why don't we run toward the middle of the field? I know, like normally you would have a safety coming over, but like, was there not anybody? I don't remember, but
I thought that too. I'm like, why don't you just angle it back towards, back towards the middle of the field, and you'd have scored.
Well, and that could be a
but
teachable
it is what
moment.
it is. He's a young kid. Yeah, he's a young kid. He's teachable. Something that really jumped out to me, and was look, South Florida is a G5 school. They're a group of 5 school, group of 6, whatever else you want to call it. They are. How much bigger and more physical they were than Southern Miss.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to deny the running backs. Bigger, physical. Their offensive line was physical. Their wide receivers were physical. Their defense, not that great, but they were physical, and they wanted to get right in your ear and talk trash, and you could tell it was getting under the Southern Miss players.
But Heath, I mean, that is true, but I'm sitting here looking at the thing. We had 487 yards of total offense, right? Playing 2 quarterbacks, and your starting quarterback got bumped out. 487. I mean, pushing 500 yards of total offense. And like you said, I mean, we're obviously outsized, so that has to be somewhat of a feather in the cap, right?
Yeah, but you saw it when you got down to the 10 and the 5. What happened?
Yeah.
They just said, forget it, you're not scoring. And they blew the offensive line off the ball. The offensive line was on skates.
Yep.
Every time you'd get down in the red zone. The scores that you had were from outside the red zone, if I'm not mistaken, touchdowns.
Yeah, it's almost detrimental to be like inside the 15.
Yeah, exactly. The offensive line, and that's just because they were bigger and more physical up front. It is what it is. It's, you played 2 FBS games. I think I told you this, Bump, and I think you've been outscored in 6 quarters, 80-24.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a tough pill to swallow. And I don't know if it's going to, you're going to Jacksonville. Now you got to go on the road.
Rich Rod.
Yep.
Rich Rod. And then you got to come back home against, a Louisiana team that's playing pretty well and a ULM team that's decided that they're going to be good and beat a UAB team last week. This is a bad. Yeah, this is a bad time for Will Hall. I don't know. I just don't know if he can't go beat Jacksonville State, and I think they can beat Jacksonville State, but if he does it and he comes back 1-3, I just don't have any. I don't know if they make a bowl. I'm hoping they do, but I just don't know if they make a bowl because I don't see that many more wins on the schedule.
Yeah.
The Sun Belt's good, guys. The Sun Belt's good, and I'm not trying to be Donnie Downer here. I cover the team. I'm trying to be, just honest.
Sure.
And say what you see. So
hey,
Will Hall at 1-21.
Heath, real quick, let me ask you.
I'm sorry.
So let's go back through these 3 games and how you would rate the performance. Because somehow, even though I got so frustrated that I didn't even stay to the end of the game tonight, if I were to rate the 3 performances, I almost see the trajectory still going up. I mean, Kentucky, I thought it was a complete mismatch. We didn't even belong in the same universe as Kentucky. And then Southeastern Louisiana, I feel like we should have beaten them by 75. And we won 35-10, but the 35-10 felt like 17-6 or something, right?
Yeah.
And tonight, I think, all right, let me put it a different way. I feel like if we played offensively and defensively as we did tonight, I feel like the Southeastern game goes a lot differently. I feel like we do better. So do you feel like the team has gotten better these 3 straight weeks?
I don't know.
Am I just crazy by saying that?
I don't. No, I don't think so. But Bumper, I'm looking at stats too, and I'm looking at last week.
Yeah,
he barely had 50 yards of rushing. Almost the end of the fourth quarter, it took a 70-yard sprint.
Sure.
By a running back to get you over 100 yards rushing. I mean, it wasn't good last week. Yeah, Kenyon. It wasn't good last week. And then you look at today, you get down inside the 5 and they bow up and you can't do nothing about it. If they really want, they didn't mind you. They didn't mind giving up yards. If you watch them, they played a lot of like a deep zone. They let guys run under. They didn't mind giving up between the 20s. They didn't mind it at all.
Threw for 397 yards tonight, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember saying that it was the most separation our receivers had all season. And there were multiple times we were wide open.
And they would say, go ahead, throw it up under there because we know that you can't beat us inside the 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they were right. They were right. It was I think the most disheartening thing for me to watch was the offensive line play when you get down the goal line. No push, no physicality. You're blown off the ball. You got quarterbacks back there running for their lives and trying to make plays. And it's just, you made a good, now one thing that I really like what they did with Ethan, that they did score, I take that back, was they run the draw with Ethan. I thought that was a pretty smart play because they were getting so upfield. But that's one of those things that once you run it once, they see it, they're looking for it. So you can't run it again because it's that's one of those plays you put in to get a lot of yards. So once you run that play, running it again, you're probably not going to have that much success with it. It's not like a regular zone or anything like that play. I think that was a good move, but once you look at the second half, and I mean, it was just the physicality of South Florida's front 7 just dominating Southern Miss when they'd get down close to goal line. Yeah. And I don't know how else to say it. It's disheartening to watch that. I think they're better athletes. I think Southern has good athletes. I think they've done well. I just the physicality thing on the offensive line is what gets to me. Mm-hmm. I don't understand where the lack of physicality comes from sometimes. Because they do. They just seem to have a lack of physicality. They pass block well at times, and that's not as much physicality as it is no more like a dance. But when you're talking about run blocking, needing to get a yard and coming off the ball, sometimes it just doesn't work. I don't know if it's the scheme, if it's personnel. I'm not sure, but something's not working.
I do agree with you, but I still felt like tonight we looked better than we have the previous 2 weeks as far as run block. I mean, there's 0 holes against Kentucky. There's nearly 0 holes except for the one long play with Clay versus Southeastern Louisiana. And tonight there were several.
Yeah.
So I feel like we did make some progress there.
There was progress
too little, too late, maybe. I don't know.
You look at the progress. You're going. I think you need to see more progress than just being able to run a little bit, though. At this point, you need to see progress of where if you need to line up and get 5 yards, you need to get 5 yards. I don't need to see a little bit of progress. I need to see major steps. And you're going into a third game now. Really, kind of your second whole game, so to say. And you need to see big steps, especially when you got an FCS that kind of controls you at the line of scrimmage.
Sure.
And I'm worried. The physicality guys, it's just a situation of where now you got to go on the road and play in a tough environment. And
I mean, do you think the physicality comes from coaching, or does that come from straight to conditioning, or both, or how do we get there?
I don't. Well, strength conditioning. You think about it. There's a lot of schools in the Sun Belt, and I guarantee you, South Florida does this too. They have nutrition programs. Southern Miss really does.
Right.
They got strength conditioning, but they don't have nutrition. Not a nutrition program as say like a table like South Florida does, where they have a like the M Club upstairs in the athletic center has a full nice new kitchen that they never use. I don't know why they don't use it to feed the players, but it's there. These schools have these type of situations, and they feed their players. So it's I think everything. I think when college football is at the point it is now, anything you can do to create advantage, you have to.
Sure.
And I don't think strength conditioning is the issue. I think maybe there's some tweaking that can be done about how we feed the guys, how we feed the athletes. Maybe that'll help with stamina and different things. But you saw it. Just look at South Florida. Just look at the size of their guys. Just look at. I mean, I'm not saying that their recruiting classes are better or much better than Southern Miss. They're not. But the development of them seems to be going in a much better direction. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but you can see a bunch of different issues going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I hate to keep all your show, though, guys. I really hate to do that. So I'm going to get off here and let y'all have it.
No, Heath,
thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we should definitely have you on way, way more because you're in there and you're I think, Pilo, we value anybody that puts as much effort into it as Heath does on a day in, day out basis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Heath, man, I really appreciate it, bud.
Guys. Y'all have a good night, fellas.
You too, man.
God bless.
See ya.
All right. Pilo, you want to get us caught up on some comments?
Yeah, there was a lot reacting to everybody that's or everything we were just talking about. So
okay. Yeah, we'll hit it.
Let me go back. Brock, I know Brock was asking a couple questions. Brock, if you'll join the X or Twitter space, I think it looks like you're on YouTube. If you'll go over to Twitter, join the space, and then you can request to go live on there. Unfortunately, that's the best way we can do it right now. Hopefully, the platform we use will allow folks to go live on YouTube soon, but right now that's not an option for us. So, let's see. Let's see. Gatlin says, so is Will Hall going to get a new DC, or is it going to be his fault this year? 487 yards of offense doesn't mean anything if you can't score in the red zone. Agreed.
It means a little bit. I mean, I mean, that's all good and well, like in a vacuum. But I mean, 480, it does mean something, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that 2 weeks ago we thought 487 yards of offense was possible, and then after last week we couldn't do it agaest Southeastern Louisiana. I mean, I think it does. It means a little. I think we could at least see some progress offensively.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, and even with Byron Brown, we talked about what a threat he was.
Yeah.
So he goes 19 of 29 for 193 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. We made him throw the ball a lot. Sacked him 4 times.
Yeah.
That's more than Alabama. right?
Yeah. Yeah, he
I
threw
feel
the
like
ball
defensive
30
plan
times.
was fine. It was just controlling that running game.
Mm-hmm.
That was really the undoing when you got Kelly Joyner running for 170. Two guys running for over 100 yards, right?
Yeah.
And then Brown running for 92, but only netting 72 because of those sacks. So damn near three people running for over 100 yards. That's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, looking on our side, though, that 397 yards passing, we were averaging 12 yards per pass.
Mm-hmm.
That's a positive. But Corey said Hall promised that we'd be the best G5 program within 3 years. Yeah. Let's see. Moving on. Progress. It's year 4. Let's see.
Where are you on these comments?
Down near the bottom. Gatlin Stillman said Jason should have just ran me over with the golf cart after Eagle Walk.
Oh, I did almost do that. I asked him if I could play through.
Nice.
I was driving a golf cart. So,
let's see. Okay, we got another request here.
oh,
Recognize this voice pretty quickly, I would imagine.
All right, you are on the air. Go ahead, caller.
Yep, just unmute and you'll be good to go.
Hello there. Can you hear me, guys?
Yep, we got you.
Got you.
All right. Mr. Rogers, I
Mr.
didn't make
Rogers.
the game this week. I was down in Florida.
So
but
are you
I
at the
watched it
beach?
from I am. And
Good for you.
It's such a tough life.
Yeah, well, I was going to be there, but yeah, last minute, wife's like, let's go to Florida. So I didn't see him step out. And to me, I'm kind of with Bump. I'm on the positive side here. I thought we were in this game in the third quarter midway. We passed it out on 3rd and long. The guy runs down the sidelines. I didn't see him step out, but I mean, we didn't have the best cameras tonight. Thought it was a touchdown. Not a touchdown, obviously, from some camera angle, whatever. I mean, maybe, by an inch or two.
Mm-hmm.
But then even our old guy, Dima, posted. He had the interception. The dude had 2 hands around the ball, and the nose hit the ground to aid him in making that interception. Go back and watch the replay. There's no way that was an interception. Everything momentum changed after that. It was 21-35. We would have scored. It would have been 28-35. A whole different ball game. 18 and 19-year-olds momentum, and just I mean, like the whole team, it just boom. Within minutes, we were down by like 3-4 scores.
But Kevin,
until that point, it was like.
But don't you feel like this happens an awful lot with these teams?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds. You can look at it 15 different ways. You can look at like the nasty bunch let 40-something points get scored. Literally, I was trying to find a positive and like, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Every time our quarterback stepped up, every time this happened, Ethan came in, this came up. We're like literally 35-21, and it would have been 28-35, and it would have like who knows? But I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He's made good points, but I was just like, after that, I was like mid-third. I looked at the wife, I'm like, we're done. Order some Taco Bell, like DoorDash, and let's just like drink up.
Hey, do you feel like it's like you're kind of you're standing at the dam, and you're plugging holes with your fingers, and as soon as you plug one of them, something else pops up, right?
Yeah.
So like we continue we fix problems. Like tonight, we created some holes for running backs. We were able to bust through. We had some trick plays that worked. We made some. We were able to contain this quarterback that we thought was impossible to contain. We did a lot of things that were so good, but every time you do something good, you give up something else that's bad.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I think too another momentum killer was the Davis Dalton makes a good play, gets the first down, and then the fumble. And then they go down two plays and they score. And then they go up 2 touchdowns. And then we're playing catch up, But in that moment, we go down and score. We're up 2 scores at that point. So, I mean, that was a big
every
play.
time we take 2 steps forward and then we get knocked back 5. I mean, it was just every time we had momentum and this and that. But I did watch for the previous 3 games. Like at the end of the day, it's a loss. It's a loss.
And going in Jacksonville State, who knows? We may be like maybe another loss. But I could see silver linings even in this game. I was like, hey, yeah, not all hope is lost, But at the end of the day, I'm like, holy crap, we let them score 40-something points. I mean, the defense does have to find some answers. So I'll shut up. I just want to call in and thank you guys.
Man, thanks for doing it. Enjoy the beach.
Yeah, Kev. Good to talk to you.
See you, buddy.
Talk to y'all later.
Yep. I think everybody feels the same way. I think everybody's just.
Well, you got people that are ready for a change, and then you got everybody else, I feel like, that just has a bad taste in their mouth and is going to hang in there. And, I think that's just kind of where we are. I mean, that's a product of losing, and we've lost a lot in the last few years. And so you're, at
the end of the day, that's kind of it, right? We're just tired of losing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my son, 5 years old, at the end of the game, he was standing there. He was over it. He had been sick, the past couple of days. And so I felt today we pushed it because we were there all day. And he was like, I'm ready to leave. And he was just screaming, and then we were walking to the car and he starts crying and was like, he's like tailgating was way more fun. I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's what happens when you don't win. It's like when you win, it's a lot more fun. When you don't win, the tailgate is more fun. So, yeah.
Well, my son kept coming back to our spot in the stands with handfuls of concrete. I was like, "Are you tearing the stadium down?" He's like, "No, it was already. I just grabbed it. It was already loose." So
yeah.
So that's
anybody else wants to chime in? Wants your voice heard? Join the Twitter space. Request to go live.
Yeah. If not, we can
throw you on there.
Update all these comments.
Yep. Let's see. Good friend Attack Eagles. But he's always at the beach. I know. It's like every time. This is a good one, I guess. How well their team kind of maintained composure after kind of getting hit in the mouth and going down 14-0. They didn't panic. So let's see. Got one coming in. Should be good.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Gotcha.
Look, I don't know if I want to officially throw my hat into the make a change camp, but doing a little bit of light research the other day, and hopefully this is a mistake, but from what I looked at, I think we've only won 3 FBS games in almost 4 years now against teams that finished with 6 or more wins. 2 of those were 6 and 7 ULL teams, and one was obviously the Tulane game where they ended up winning the Cotton Bowl. So hopefully that's a little bit of perspective. It kind of hurt my feelings when I realized that stat. We're just bad, and I for a little while I got into the doom and gloom of like, hey, look, maybe the sport has just passed us up. Maybe we don't have the resources to get to where we need to be. But you see it literally day in and day out. These other programs that are doing it right with 30. I mean, look at J.G. Kinney at Texas State. He's 35 years old. In winning games you shouldn't be winning. In crazy fashion, you got UNLV had that big game. I mean, everybody's doing it. All these G5s are doing it. They're recruiting really well. They're getting really dynamic players, quarterbacks. Really proud of the quarterbacks we have right now. But like we're in year 4, and we're just now looking at competent quarterbacks. And just some perspective. I don't know. Look, do I think we have some wins left on the schedule this year? Absolutely. Do I think we have enough to get to 7? Maybe not. So just wanted to put that out there, but appreciate the work you guys do, and always enjoy listening. So.
Hey, where are you calling from?
I am on the road, almost home.
I can tell that, but so you drove to Hattiesburg tonight for the game?
Yeah. So usually for most of the home games these days, I will drive up and home, and I live in Gulfport. So.
Got you. Okay. Well, great, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling in, and safe travels back to Gulfport. Did you guys have any bad storm situation?
Thankfully not, man. It was kind of surprising. We did a lot of prep, thankfully for not. But like I told everybody, and my wife would rather do it and not need it than need it
for sure.
and not have done it. So thankful for that.
Yep,
no doubt. Well, man, safe
Jacob,
travels
thanks
back
for
to
calling
the
in,
house.
buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Yep. One thing too, I know we've talked about this. I want to kind of run through a little bit, and then we'll get the next guy. I know we have another request in, but we, if you looked across the Sun Belt, Arkansas State played Michigan, and Michigan won, but it was 28-18. Coastal beats a Temple team. Troy got beat. App State beats East Carolina, so that's a AAC or American team. They got it done. And it looks like East Carolina was up 16-0 in the first quarter against them, and App State comes back to win 21-19.
Wow.
And then you have Georgia State. I don't know if you saw that, but Georgia State beats Vanderbilt. And so I think you picked State. That. You did. And so, you see a team like Georgia State and Vanderbilt scored 22 in the fourth quarter. So it was, Georgia State was kind of in control that whole game. So, I think just like Jacob said, I mean, there are other teams doing it. I don't think it's impossible. And I think a lot of us were down pretty early. And I even had that thought, like, are we just never going to be good again? But,
yeah, I mean, it's
possible.
As far as the thought of there's no chance that quote unquote G5, which I hate that word.
Yeah, I do too.
Low resource 5 can never be the high resource 4. It happens each and every week.
It does.
Right? It happens each and every week. So we were that team for the longest time. And look, at that point, teams like Troy, teams like probably Louisiana, they were like, man, why can't we do what Southern Miss is doing? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's flipped. Why can't we do what Troy did last year?
Yeah.
Why can't we be Marshall and beat Notre Dame? Right? So
sure,
it still can be done. Will it be done by this staff? It's looking bleak at this point.
Yeah. Jack Williams said defense was off kill every play, couldn't keep up with the high tempo effort by USF. This was a 100% winnable game. My 4-year-old nephew said, we got to play much more better. We'll see y'all next week.
Jack Williams is a great Golden Eagle fan. Fellow Sid McKay.
Cool. The right field.
Jack,
go ahead.
Missed you at the funeral yesterday. It was awesome.
Right field Rugrats said Toledo doesn't have the resources we do. Yeah, and they took down Mississippi State tonight. If you didn't know that,
really?
Oh, it was.
I did not know that. What was the final? What's the final there?
Final.
And this was in Starkville, right? Sure.
It was in Starkville, and it was 41-17 Toledo.
That's the best news I've heard all night. That's fantastic.
One more, Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about that. We did talk about kicking field goals while we were down multiple scores. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Pilo, I do have. So one of the people that came by the tent today.
Yeah.
He said that he had a volleyball player. He's like, have you guys ever interviewed a volleyball player? I said, no.
No.
But that would be great.
Yeah.
Like all of them at one time would be wonderful.
Corey, I think you're on if you want to go ahead and unmute while we just continue to talk, but chime in.
Corey's great. So but I do think that we have, I'm trying to find out if she's a collective athlete.
Okay.
At the moment. If she is, we'll just put it on behind that wall. But so I think we have an interview with a volleyball player coming up.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Corey, are you on?
I think we lost him.
Okay.
Here we go. He's back. And we do have one other thing to talk about too with the collective before we get off. So I want to make sure we talk about that.
Okay.
Corey, go ahead. If you'll unmute, you should be good.
Hey guys, sorry.
Yep.
Hey, there he
Get
is.
in, and internet connection was off and on. But yeah, man, I brought my 1-year-old son to his first football game tonight. He couldn't
It's a
make
good
it
thing
any
he's not going to be
last
able to
year. He had
remember it.
some sickness that he was going. Well, here's the thing, Bump. Like, he got the perfect taste of what it feels like to be a Southern Miss fan. I mean, just
Very good point.
got those highs in the first quarter, and then rode the lows the rest of the game. But you know, we had a good time. I thought the atmosphere was great. I was actually very surprised at the turnout. I know there's been some negative comments about the crowd size, but overall, I thought
it was good too.
Turned out, which was a bit surprising after the first couple weeks showing. But I guess I kind of have the same question as I did last week, and that's is Jacksonville State a must-win for Will Hall?
I think even more so than we said last week.
Well, I don't think if you're saying like, is there any chance that he's like, I mean, like left, I would say left on a tarmac, but left like at the bus stop, I guess, in our situation. No, that's not happening. I don't see Jeremy doing that to any coach. At the very end of the year, would you want to get a head start with a game or two left? I mean, that's possible, but I just don't see Jeremy going that direction. As far as is this game next week vital to the rest of our season as far as making a bowl game? Yeah. I think it's a must win. If Southern Miss has a chance to get to 6, possibly 7, to make a bowl,
we better get busy.
Then next week is an absolute must. Mm-hmm. So, and at that point we'll be 2-2, right? Who on here would not take 2-2 at the beginning of the season? Would anybody, Corey? I mean, 2-2. If I told you at the beginning of the season, after our first 4
feel like
games,
that's probably what everybody was.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what everybody was expecting after Kentucky. I mean, or even before Kentucky, I don't feel like anybody was expecting a better record. For sure, not a better record. But
I think 3-1 would have been just like living a pipe dream. But 2-2, I think it's kind of a must
for sure,
right?
Yeah.
So
no, I absolutely think it's a must. But I guess my concern is, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, it's all about Sun Belt play now, and that seems to be the same conversation we have year after year. It's all about conference play now. Yet we're not really competing in the conference either.
No.
So, I don't know.
Good point.
It just seems like a lot of excuses that people keep giving over and over again. And, I mean, I want Will Hall to be as successful as anybody else does, but I mean, how many years is it going to take for us to say, all right, it's time to make a change?
No, I think I can answer that. I think this is the year that if it can't get done this year, if you can't show some sort of life in the program, then I think this is the year, right? I mean, this is not. I mean, I love Will Hall.
What do you think that is, Bump? What do you think that is, Bump?
As far as a win total,
making it to a conference championship or making it to a conference championship?
No.
Is it coming in second in the division? Like, what is it going to?
I think it's minimum going to a bowl game.
That he has to do.
Minimum is bowl.
Yeah.
I think minimum's bowl. Good Lord, if we can sniff any part of being anywhere near a conference championship, that's, I mean, borderline extension territory.
No, I don't think it's possible. I'm just saying, like, where do we set the bar? Like, who is setting the bar and where are they setting it? Because, it's been crickets from the athletic department. I mean, they can't even tell us where to tailgate.
Well, they can tell us where not to tailgate.
Touche.
No, but the floor is the bowl game. Without a bowl game, then it just is what it is. And look, and I've had personal conversations with Will, and which I'm sure a lot of people have. He does so many things right, but at the end of the day, it is it's a big boy job, right? The Southern Miss job is sitting JUCO, okay. This isn't just, you know what? Hey, I like you a lot. This isn't Tommy Raffo up at Arkansas. Was it Arkansas State in baseball, where he was like 300 games under 500 over the last 15 years. You just can't do that at Southern Miss, especially with football. So the bowl game this year, I feel like would get him the next year. I don't think it would be the full 4-year extension. Somehow, if he could pull it off and get to anywhere near a conference championship game, then I think we would all say, "Great, way to go!" Right? But yeah, the bowl game's got to happen, or we're starting over. Yeah, and I don't know if that's it makes me. I don't feel great about that. Do you guys? I think a lot of people are like, well, I'm just ready to do it. I'm ready to start completely over. I'm not. I want this to work out. But if it does not work out this year, then I think it's time to try something different.
Yeah, I think we all wanted to work out, man, and we've all wanted it to work out for the last 4 years, and we felt like we were starting over every single year, and I think that's the problem, and that's the frustration. And shoot, man, I mean, bowl game being the minimum standard. I mean, what was it? A couple of years ago, there were several 5-win teams that were making bowls, just because there are so many bowl games. So I don't know.
Bowl
is
not
like
what it used to be.
Super low bar for year 4 when you got a guy that was telling us day after day that we're going to be the best Group of 5 football program in the nation from day one.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's all I got, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, Corey. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, it's just a lot of frustration, Pilo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're getting comments all over the place every time we have somebody on, and so a lot of people are saying bowl is not enough in their opinion. I'm sorry, listen 2 and 2, but in the L's we looked like the same Will Hall coach team.
In fairness, with the bowl is not enough. He said, "What is the? I mean, like, I guess where would you set the floor? The floor for Coach Hall remaining as a possibility for Coach next year being a bowl game. I mean, where the hell would you put it? Is the floor a conference championship? I think that's just living in a dream world. I think that's how Corey phrased it, right?
Yeah.
What's the floor of retaining your position?
Yeah, I mean, this is possibly. A good comment here from Attack Eagles. You know, he said, I've always been a big Hall fan, as y'all know, but he has to win 7 or it's over. And 7 just does not look promising, unfortunately. So I understand that.
Hold on. I'd like to comment on a comment that I'm just looking at right here.
Go ahead.
Blue Bonnet. We've had our issues in the past. This might as well be Will Hall's press conference. I want to stop it right there. How could this possibly be Will Hall's press conference? Yeah, we do have relationships with Will, but to sit here and say that I think the only way it couldn't be that way is if I'm like outgoingly not rooting for our team to win, right? I think we all want this to work out. And I feel like that's how we're approaching this conversation. And then the rest of it is, good Lord, this team is bad and horribly coached. I think we've gotten better all 3 games. We're staring at 3 wins in the face if we are lucky. Speak the truth, guys. I don't think that that's anything about speaking the truth. I think that's about you hoping that we lose. And I feel like I hope that we win. Okay? So it's nothing about speaking the truth. If you show up to this podcast ever and expect me to hope that we don't do well, then you need to pick another podcast, I guess. But no, it's But at the same time, I do understand the frustration level. I'm there. Can you not sense that in my voice? Can you not say? I mean, I don't want to sit here and bang on Will Hall. I don't want to sit here and bang on Jeremy. I don't want to bang on the football program. It's the one thing in life that brings me joy is Southern Miss athletics. And I'm to the point to where I had to leave a game early tonight. That's where I'm sitting. So in no way am I not trying to speak the truth, guys. But it pains me. I want to see us get back to the top. I hope that Will Hall can do it. And I'm going to go into this next week hoping that he beats Jacksonville and we somehow win 2 games in a row and turn that into a winning streak. If it doesn't happen, then I'm open ears to who's going to make that happen. Do I think that we need to start over right now? As one caller said, after next week, do we go ahead and make the change? Does anybody want to do that? Do you want to do that? Do you want to give it up to an interim? We've gone through that. We have, 4 or 5 head coaches that one year, starting with Scotty Walden, ended up with our defensive coordinator that year.
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
We interviewed him. I can't remember it. I don't think anybody wants to go down that route. I think we just want to win more damn football games, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But some of that, what I just said, is not wrong. It's not sugarcoating it. It's not looking like a Will Hall press conference where he says, like, we've gotten better from game 1 to game 3. But we have. In a lot of these categories, we have gotten better. We looked completely overmatched and in no way, shape, or form prepared for Kentucky. And then we beat Southeastern. And then tonight, we damn near had 500 yards of total offense. That is a step forward. It wasn't good enough. That's the problem. Is that all those steps forward have not been good enough. And that's where Will comes in. So anyway, I just wanted to comment on that.
Oh, yeah. Well said.
Yeah. If you want to comment, if you want to get us caught up on any other.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to speak, you better get in requests because I got some Taco Bell waiting on me that I'm putting to the side waiting. So let me know.
I'm going all the way to the bottom of the chat here. Oh, Amy Clark. I do like Amy. Okay. So Amy Clark, I am tired of the excuses other teams with resources like ours get it done in USM. And I couldn't believe Hall said we've improved each year under his leadership. I get it.
Yes, Reagan, you're correct. It was Tim Billings.
Oh,
that's right. That was who it was.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Oh, yeah.
And wow.
Yeah, I mean, here's one at the end too. I mean, Ernie just said Will Hall looked tired in his presser, and that has rub off on his team. I don't know about that, but I would imagine he's under a lot of stress. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would you not be? I think he knows. I think he sees the frustration. I get that. I'm sure he's not sleeping as well as he probably could. And you know, as somebody who's married to somebody who sees these players every single day and pours into them, and we get my wife works in the athletic department, and you know, well, actually not in the athletic department, but she works with the football team and with the athletes. I mean, they want to win. These guys don't come in and they're not wanting to win. They want it more, and I guarantee you Will Hall wants it more than anybody else. So to think that they don't want it or they're not motivated to win, that's just false. So I hear stories all the time and every day about how much effort is going in and, you know, everything they're trying to do to get better and all the work. And so it's not from a lack of trying. Let's see. Throw this up there. Daniel, go ahead.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Got you. Loud and clear.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
We're good.
Well, the whiskey tastes great. I'm doing terrible.
So The game, it started off great. I want to say that. It really did start off great. The drives were awesome.
Yeah, so much fun.
But it just fell apart so dang fast. And I just more have a gripe with some of the comments right now with just mainly about the resources, because I think some people just don't look at it, but we really do have a lot of the high resources in our conference.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we're top 4 for coach's salary and top 4 for assistant coaching salary pool. We're around 1.5 million in NIL, top 3 in the conference. So like what's happening? And I don't really think it's the resources are the problem. I think it's more just like who is not doing their job or who is not doing it well enough that they should be. And I think the players have the talent. The talent's there. We saw that today, but I really just don't know how he's going to get through this. It's just kind of hard right now, just kind of seeing how do we have all these resources but are not utilizing them to be successful.
Sure.
Well, that's the $1 million question. I think if you ask, I think that's probably the question that Coach Hall is asking himself. I mean, look, you look at what he did last year. Like, you know, we've talked about it a bunch, but my good friend Dan O'Brien, you know, gets rid of Dan, and he gives up play calling duties, which he never said that he would do. I feel like he's kind of done. You know, he reached that point to where we're asking ourselves, like, you know, what the hell is going on? I feel like he reached that point at the middle of last year and said, you know, even though I like myself calling plays, I'm not going to do that anymore. And even though I love Dan, you know, I'm going to send him packing. And I feel like he's kind of done everything that he feels like should do, and still the results aren't there. So, you know, where do you go from this point? At some point, does it not just become like we just have to get on a roll? Like, for whatever reason, like you win a game, you're like, we shouldn't have won that game. I don't remember the last time Southern Misses won a game where you're like, you know what, we weren't even the better team. I don't even know why we won. We just had this knack. We've developed this knack for winning. And for so many years, I think Southern Miss kind of did that. Like we would go into these places and they would be bigger than us and they would be better than us. And we would just make that field goal at the end. Right. Southern Miss just had a knack of pulling it out. And now we have a knack of just doing the exact opposite. So how do you do that as a head coach? I guess that's the reason Will Hall makes the big bucks, is you have to crack that code. So we'll see if we can do it starting next week.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I'm just kind of more of I'm beginning to lose faith in him because the record's not correlating with the success at all, and it's just like he's great at building things internally. He's great at recruiting. Shoot, I think he's a great spokesperson. I think he's a great admin figure, but I don't think he's just a good play caller, a good coach. And I love him, but I don't think he's the answer. And the thing is, I think at this point, Jacksonville State's going to have to be a win. If not, he's in dangerous trouble. And if the thing is 6-6, I think is going to be a nightmare scenario for us, because yes, we'll go to a bowl game, but if we don't win that, I don't think the fans are going to really come back. I think they're just going to be checked out.
The fans are definitely teetering. I can speak to that. And some of our administration, or not even administration, but on campus people are not helping in that regard. Winning fixes everything. I think we can all agree on that. You know, if you were to just reel off like 3 or 4 in a row, this whole tailgating issue and the parking thing and all that, it all just kind of melts away. But when you're not winning, all of that's a very big deal. I mean, what color helmet you wear? I mean, we can pick a million different things to complain about when we're losing.
Sure.
If you win, it really doesn't matter. But it has to start next week. I agree. I think it has to start next week. Has Jacksonville State won a football game this year?
They lost. They're 0-3 now. They lost in double overtime to Eastern Michigan tonight.
So is that good or bad for us heading into next week that they are 0-3?
Yep.
They're kind of due. They're not going to just not win any games this year, right?
Sure. Yeah, they had 423 yards of offense tonight.
I feel like it's going to be a junior level of the offense that we showed tonight. You know, Rich Rod is going to run up tempo, quick passes. A lot of what we saw tonight, just without Brown. So was tonight just a crash course on what we're going to see next week? And next week's like the JUCO level of that? Is that fair?
Yeah,
Maybe not JUCO, but
they had 300 yards receiving and 9 different guys catching the ball. So yeah, they're going to spread it around. They're going to throw it. We got to be able to defend.
Lots of opportunities for that defense to get a little bit better. My guy Will James, we're going to need him to show up a little bit more than he did tonight. Dylan Lawrence, I thought that South Florida did a great job of just taking him out.
Yeah.
But it all starts up front, right? South Florida had 2 guys over 100 yards rushing, almost 3. You got to clear that up before next week for sure.
Yep. So we got one more requester in here.
Okay. After this, Pilo, we're probably going to shut her down.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. Colin, you should be good if you unmute.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it hasn't been brought up yet, but and maybe I'm just crazy, but I really, really think that we need to hand the ball off and just give it to Ethan Crawford instead of Tate. And I was really, really disappointed in special teams.
Wait, hold on. Like, first of all, like why? I have seen other people say that, but why exactly?
Because we don't have an offensive line that can allow Tate to do what he's good at doing, and I just think
Tate went 10 of 15 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, along at 37, 0 sacks. So as far as the offensive line thing goes, he had 0 sacks against him, 10 of 15. 3 of those throws were just throwaways that he got rid of, right? 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the best defense we've played all season. And I'm not against what you're saying. I love Crawford too. I don't give a shit.
And
I don't care who wins the game.
I completely see your side bump too. Yeah. I completely see your perspective. I don't know. He just seems like he's got more something going for him as far as upside. And Tate, I mean, no offense, and I was totally fine with it, but I kind of felt like we were a little bit aided by these shaky refs tonight in that first drive. But yeah, Tate did look good. He looked good. I don't know. I just don't think our offensive line can allow him to do what he's good at doing right now. And I'm so tired of having these seasons where we keep going back and forth between quarterbacks and doing this 2 quarterback system. And I don't know. I'm just at a loss there. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I wanted to talk about. And then I just thought special teams were horrible tonight. I could not believe how bad special teams were. Yeah, that's just crazy.
Wow. There's no defending that one.
I didn't want to take up too much of y'all's time there.
No, thanks for calling in, Colin. We appreciate it. And I mean, I think I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Tate. I thought I thought he looked sharp tonight early, but it does seem like there are moments when Ethan comes in that it seems like we are more in a rhythm. You know, I think last week on the podcast I talked about it doesn't seem like we can ever get in that rhythm offensively. When Ethan comes in, I feel like with him being able to roll out and hit these throws, it seems like we had more of a rhythm offensively. Now, we did the first 2 drives with Tate tonight. I'm not saying that we didn't. But it just seems like it seems like Mims gets more involved and you know, like we just tend to click a little bit better right now. You know,
I think Ethan's had such a small sample size that nobody can say that for sure. I think tonight he looked good. I think last year we saw that in glimpses. Ethan doesn't have any touch on the ball. All right, I'll go out and say it. Ethan is a fantastic athlete. I want to see Ethan in the game. I don't mind if Ethan takes a snap and we just use him as like the super back, right? The ultimate super back. I don't care about that. Ethan can't throw the ball like Tate can. He can't. He's got a great arm. He doesn't have any kind of touch like Tate does. Ethan cannot read the field like he can. What Ethan can do is make plays with his legs, right? And that's fantastic. Why can't we use 2 guys? Why can't you put Ethan in there when you get inside the 10-yard line? I don't know why that's a problem. I don't see a problem with having 2 quarterbacks. Like it would be like saying, like, you know what, we got DeAndre Brown on this side and Peanut Bolden on this side. Well, you know what, they can't both play. Why can't we play both of them? Right? Put them at the same time. I don't care.
That's fair.
Yeah. You know, man, like put them on them. I mean,
see, I was in that boat before, and so now I've transitioned out of it. So I guess I'm just maybe I'm just giving up on that whole system in general. But anyways, yeah.
I think we all just want to win, right? Does anybody care who's playing quarterback if we win the game?
No doubt.
No.
I will say this. I did find myself having the conversation with family and friends afterwards that I'm totally okay with us putting more resources somehow towards basketball, though, if we're not going to improve in football. I know that sounds kind of silly to some people, but, I mean, it would just be nice to have two sports going and upward trends always, because it seems like the campus and the atmosphere is just way different when you got two sports.
Well, dude, I'm
doing
telling
really, really
you,
well.
I'm telling you right now, basketball, we are going to beat the hell out of some people this year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we have to stay
by the
healthy.
way, in the G spot. Yeah.
You said the G spot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on road 2.
Oh, great! Oh, you're right there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll throw some popcorn at you.
Yeah, and I'm already thinking about basketball season 2. Maybe that's why I feel that way about the QB system. But I don't know. There's just something about Crawford, and even last year when he played against State. And maybe you're right about the touch stuff, but I mean, I just watched this dual threat quarterback tear us up tonight with Brown. Which why in the hell he was still playing that late in the game?
Yeah, that was kind of mind-boggling to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't see why we can't do something like that with Crawford. But I guess it's the offensive line is where it starts at with me. Is that Tate, unfortunately, he just does not have. And don't get me wrong, if he has a good offensive line in front of him, I'm just like, dude, let him just precision this all the way through. Yeah. But it's like he just doesn't.
No, that's a good point. And Ethan is electric. You're right about that.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll let y'all go. I got to go watch the Sugar Show here in a second.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
All right, Pilo. I say we go ahead and shut this thing down.
Yeah, I mean, the music's playing.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for chiming in. And it's late. We're all frustrated, and I get it. We said we were going to do this after every game, and I thought long and hard about not. But we said we're going to do it, and we're going to continue to do it. Next week, if you guys join in to listen to the regular podcast, I will be out. I have work, and I'll be out for work the entire week. So, Pilo, I don't know who he's going to get, but he says he's got it covered. So, look forward to a very special show next week with Patrick. Thanks for listening in today, whatever day you might have listened, and whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J. Bailey and Patrick at P. Lowry. Follow us on all the social at To The Top Talk. Don't forget about the mailbag, tothetoptalk@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss.
To the top.
Talk.
I don't know where my sticker is either.
I could play for Alabama.
Later, peeps.
USC or Notre Dame. You have